What's up, long players? Welcome to the Long Play Listening Party, the show where we go deep on local music, writing, recording, inspiration, gear, whatever else sounds good to us. I'm Howie Howard from Mr. Furious Records. Nate, how you feeling?
Yo.
Royce Diamond, what's good?
What's going on?
And special guest, Stik Figa, welcome.
What's going on, y'all? It's Stik Figa, man.
Stick.
I had to do it, right? It required.
We're going to be listening to Stik's newest record, East of MacVicar Ave. So that's coming up in just a couple minutes. But Stik, get us started. Tell us, how'd you get started in music? Where did it all start for you?
Oh, man. You like the beginning, or?
Beginning. Take us as far back as you want.
It all started, well, the love of music has always been around. Like, my parents were the type of parents that used to always have the parties at their house, and my aunts and uncles, and my uncles, JT and his wife, my aunt Ernestine, they used to, in Little Rock, Arkansas. We used to go there every summer, and that was the party house too, and we used to just always have a good time, and I was at that age when they were playing, like, the Parliament Funkadelic and the Anita Bakers and the Curtis Mayfields, and also, my folks really love the blues. They love blues music, so that's probably where, like, the earliest love of just music in general comes from, is just, loud house, smoky rooms, people yelling, playing spades. Those are like my early memories. And then, but with hip hop, that probably started with a movie called Crush Groove. My dad was in the military, and when we lived in Germany, we had a copy. I'm about to age myself considerably, but when they had this thing called Betamax, the Betamax was like an old VCR player. And it had a copy. We lived in Germany. We had all the American films that we cared about. So, and that included like all of Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh yeah.
Crush Groove, Last Dragon. But Crush Groove in particular, there's a scene in Crush Groove, man, where LL comes in the room and points to Cuz. His DJ is escaping me at the moment, but he does radio. He performs radio. Like, he busts in the room with Run DMC in there, and then he's performing radio, and I'm like, yo, that's hard. Like, that's the hardest thing I've ever seen. Like, that's incredible. Like, it just blew my mind. I was like, that's because it was just him and the beat. I just thought that was like powerful. Even as a little kid, I was just like, dang, all you need is his voice in the music. He didn't have a band, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said earlier, all the other music had a lot of requirements, and this is just a dude commanding a room with just him and the beat. So that's probably where it started. That was the kernel. Hip hop for me was LL Cool J, radio.
Crush Groove, probably. It started for a lot of people there, I think.
Yeah, I would think so too.
So then bring us up. We're going to skip past some stuff and we can get back to it if you want. But, like, where does this newest album, East of MacVicar Ave, start?
East of MacVicar Ave conceptually starts... Well, if I'm being real honest, I've been trying to make a record like that consistently for a while. But it's specifically a time period in Topeka, Kansas, like 1994, 1995, when we relocated there from the South. And Junction City, I lived in Junction City as a kid, and I was about 13, 14, so it was like coming of age, is the way I look at it. When I moved to Topeka, in those years, statistically, and I felt it, like I didn't know it was statistically until I started working on the record, but it just was a tumultuous time for me, because it was like I was new to a place, I didn't know my way around it, and it was hectic. That's when I first started getting introduced to to gangs. Like, I mean, I don't mean like I was in one. I'm just saying like I was a young person who was getting introduced to this kind of thing. You know what I mean? Before that, I was just a kid. You know, I just liked being a kid. I like sports. I like, you know what I'm saying? I like Ninja Turtles. You know, like I was a kid. But around that age, 12, 13, 14, it's like I'm starting to learn about like asserting yourself and how to move in these situations and how to adapt in, you know, all the rites of passage as a young man that you just kind of go through. And this just happened to be the backdrop for it in the situation, you know, where I couldn't ask my mom or my dad, like, how do I handle this? Like, what should I do about this? So.
East of MacVicar, west of Madison, south of 1st, north of 21st. Welcome to the Central Cell Blocks. You are now entering the capital city of Kansas. Topeka, Top City, AKA. We'll take you past the Capitol building, Topeka High, the Expo Center, the accredited Washburn University, and we'll take you deeper in the hood. Past the grocery store, Dillon's, on Huntoon, that they've since closed. Now a lot of people rely on the Dollar General and Walgreens and Quick Shops to eat. We'll take you to the liquor store on Lincoln. In the 70s and 80s,
It's got a little intro here. Exit 362C.
single parents,
Straight jacket.
couples trying to make it for the children. And then the 90s hit. And along with it came crack and gangs. LA gangs, Bloods and Crips of all sets. Chicago gangs, Vice Lords, GDs, Four Corners. Don't get it twisted about this part of Kansas, because the get down is real. It was a lot for our country asses to handle. Stik, get in here and explain to these motherfuckers how we give it up.
Somewhere in middle America, 60 miles west of Kansas City, Missouri.
It's Stik Figa.
Yeah, these boys got opinions, but they wasn't outside. Nah, I don't bang, I just love my guys. And I never judge, cause I know we all try. Hustle every day, do your thing to survive. Boys got opinions, but they wasn't outside. Nah, I don't bang, I scream free my guys. And I never judge, cause I know we all try. Hustle every day, do your thing to survive.
Royce, did you listen ahead this week, or are you coming in cold?
Coming in cold.
All right.
Yeah, so like that, the groove on that last track, and this one, and the bass lines in particular, man, where are those coming from?
Many miles in the central, took the hard road, swerving in potholes and traffic. I'm homesick, but maybe I'm just sick of home. Yeah, these boys got opinions, but they wasn't outside. Nah, I don't bang, I just love my guys. And I never judge, cause I know we all try. Hustle every day.
I think Stik hasn't turned up.
Boys got opinions, but they wasn't outside.
Yo, Stik.
I don't bang, I scream free my guys. And I never judge, cause I know.
Can you hear me, man?
Can you hear us, man?
Maybe not.
785. They thought it was Mayberry because they saw that Kansas address. Better do a double check. Look at that zip code.
I'm gonna do a little interlude here. I mean, just to explain. Stik had the music up real loud and then needed to grab power for his computer. So, listeners, you're just gonna hear some music for a little bit, a couple songs, which is great. But you know, don't be alarmed that we're not talking. We'll come back. We're gonna talk about this, but just enjoy the music for now.
Fuck boys throwing salt like chefs, always having beef. Never had a stash, shooting dice in advisor base. Before I knew about divided race, I was trying to run it up with my friends and put the money in a hiding place. Fuck it, I'm still doing me. I never tried to be cheap, but these niggas crazy, you see. So I'm keeping one in their head. You see me, I probably got
Yeah,
heat.
these boys got opinions, but they wasn't outside. Nah, I don't bang, I scream free my guys. And I never judge, cause I know we all try. Hustle every day, do your thing to survive.
Boys got opinions, but they wasn't outside. Nah, I don't bang, I just live my guys. And I never judge.
Stik, can you hear us?
Hustle every day, do your thing.
This might be a first.
Might be. Stik, can you hear us?
Nah, I don't bang, I scream.
Can you hear us talking?
Oh no, I still hear the music.
No, that's good. We want you to hear both. Can you hear both?
Bang to survive. Pine Ridge, Deer Creek.
Dude, I'm riding to it like I ain't heard it 1,000 times.
President Street, you know what I'm talking about. Everybody out on the south side, everybody on the east side. Ripley Apartments, you feel me? Cushionberry Park, you get me? Top City all day though, 785 if they ain't know.
You wasn't there, you wouldn't know.
Oh, y'all gonna play the whole thing?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
man,
that's
we want
what's
to talk
up.
to you about it, though.
We have some questions for you.
Yeah. Fraternal order of genocide. When it's funky, them niggas slide. If you with it, then get inside. Bang your hood out of the Honda and call it Civic. Best part of the ghetto, worst part of the birds. Boys hopped off the porch, wheels hopped off the curb. Tattooed scriptures, never go in the church. Heard the streets talks, never say in a word. Turn the wood grain, wheel grain, he don't go against. Gonna take it to the grave.
So DJ Sean P produced all these tracks?
Yeah, I was gonna ask
Know the twist, journey in forgotten avenues. Transaction
like how much he was
A part of
I'm
that?
guessing everything.
Reputation, everything, always something he had to prove. Tragic news travel, wish that you never told me. Another fatherless child, another dead homie. Another car wash, a text with broken heart emojis. Mama pray for me, granny, would you hold me? Fraternal order of genocide. When it's funky, them niggas slide. If you with it, then get inside. Bang your hood out of the Honda and call it Civic Pride. Fraternal order of genocide. When it's funky, them niggas slide. If you with it, then get inside. If you ain't, get out the way, cause them niggas will ride. You see my young life, man, he since he was pissing his britches. Always in the mischief, free from making commitments. Mama held it down while his pop was sitting in prison. And the suckers killed his brother last summer, you know he tripping. 40 on his lap, in the corners, codeine sipping. Indifferent in the trenches, his mama just got evicted. School he been gritting, getting the cloud, stacking chippers up in the shoeboxes. His account round 8 in the evening, decided to hit the stove. Grabbed the bottle, headed out, seen a car that he didn't know. See, they rolled the window down, started woofing and cracking foes. He gripped the pepper, lifted it, and proceeded to let it blow. Suckers return fire, and innocence hit the flow. Tiger screeching, checked his body like, whew, that shit was close. Hop back up in the scraper and got Lil on them hoes and said it's funky forever, my nigga, and that's just how it go.
Alright, I'm back.
Cool.
Make this work. It's the last thing I do.
When you're all set, I mean, we want to talk about DJ Sean P a little bit.
Fraternal order of genocide. When it's funky, them niggas slide. If you with it, then get inside. Bang your hood out of the Honda and call it Civic Pride.
I didn't know he was listening to the whole thing. I feel. Oh no.
The whole thing is good, so that's what we do here. We listen to the whole thing.
It's been stimulating.
Alright, you turn your music down so you can hear us? Nope.
I'm starting to feel like this is art right here.
It's my spot right here. It's Stik Figa, man. Hey, smell like dope on the stove top. Smoke outside with the dope lock. Ops gon' come, but they won't not. Gon' bulldoze through the roadblocks. Whole lot of clones, lot of robots. Guess I'ma chip off the old block. What's a fofo when they hold chops? Won't lose my soul tryna go pop. Smell like dope on the stove top. Smoke outside, keep the dope locked. Ops outside.
All right, this is Stovetop Stick. Can you hear us?
I can hear you guys.
All right, man. Awesome. Ready? So Nate wanted to talk about the.
Well, I
bass
hear you
and,
faintly because I still can hear my tunes.
You want to turn them down a little bit?
In Logic,
Yeah, let me
grab
do
the
that.
volume of the music and turn it down a little bit.
So what do you mean? What do you mean? Offered the bucks, I couldn't sleep. How can they judge? I'm a machine, good in the bad, stuck in between. Lead a horse to the game, they get dork or a lame, and they can't be forced to absorb it. Find a course or a lane to extort for some change and ignore all the pain you was born with. Need a Porsche or a chain, pass the torch to the game. Pray the Lord can replace the endorphins. No remorse for the fame, we award for the change to report the remains for the tourists. Be a sport in exchange, back and forth, we complain, then resort or we aim for endorsements. Off the porch, we gon' bang while support in the frame, and we bore all the weight like a corset. Or contort in the shade, it's important to name all the sources you're paying in the mortgage. Throw your life down a drain, let it orbit like a moth to the flame. Burnt orange. Hey, smell like dope on the stove top. Smoke outside with the dope lock. Ops gon' come, but they won't not. Gon' bulldoze through the roadblocks. Whole lot of clones, lot of robots. Guess I'm a chip off the old block. What's a fofo when they hold?
Check. Stick, can you hear us?
I can hear you faintly.
Faintly. Should we shout?
What's on your mind, what you think in your lap? What do you mean? What do you mean? Get off my nuts, cut to the scene. Not in the tux, but I be clean. They playin' rough, I bust a machine. Got that whatchamacallit that
Nate, you might just have to speak up. I don't know, man.
That's all right, man.
Looking for dirt, ain't no reason to dig. Go pearls to the swine and we feed in the pigs. Looking for work like we need
Can you turn your music down? Stick.
I muted mine.
Your music?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh,
You're not listening to the music?
Smoke outside with the dope lock.
I muted my version,
Okay.
but I still hear tunes.
All right. Well, I'm gonna ask you my questions, man. We'll worry
This
about
my
that
one.
later.
This my favorite one.
Tell us about it.
Oh, I gotta talk? Oh.
Yeah.
Because I still hear the music. Alright. Okay, it's quiet now. Alright, cool. We talking about Stovetop? The one I just played? Okay.
Yeah.
So the story of that song is there was a house that lived across the street from us, and I don't know if you ever lived in a certain environment. You know, it was one of those houses where you never knew who lived there for real, but they always had lots of guests. And it was for real an odor. Like it was an odor to like I would walk home from school or walk to school certain times of day, or I would be skipping school, and there was like a smell, you know, that blue cheese smell, you know what I'm saying? One day, you know, you go to turn on your water and it's not on. It's like, dang, I know we paid the bill and all of that, right? And the house got raided. And when they was arresting, you know, when people was coming out of it, you know, you recognizing people and you recognizing people from school, stuff like that. So I was like, dang, wow. That song's actually about how, like, you hear a lot of rap music where people kind of like make it sound like this romantic thing to be trapping or selling dope or whatever, but in reality, there's like a whole systematic situation that is really just, you know, swirling the drain. So when I approached that record, I wanted to do it like a trap record, but I wanted to like stuff it with, you know, some social commentary. So that's kind of how that one came out, Stovetop. So I was like, it's jamming, but if you really listen to it, it's like, nah, don't do that. Like, it's not the move. Like, if you actually been around it or know anybody who's been around it or actually saw that all the way through, it's not the move. So that's what that one's about.
Cool.
So then we listening to this one.
It's that gospel feel.
This is the gospel record. This is the one I had to put on there so that my mom could listen to it. that she would like it, you know. But in all seriousness, you know, that's kind of like if this was an episode or a movie, like this is the part of the movie where the redemption kind of happens, and you try, you know, you make a good decision, you know, you do an assessment of your choices, knowing that even if you make a good choice, keeping a good choice isn't easy to maintain. You know, there's still some measure of faith and some measure of self-belief that you're gonna need in order to carry those things out. And a little bit of luck. I believe in God, but if you don't, you probably think, you know, luck or odds, or, you know, you just kind of hoping for them odds to be in your favor. So
yeah.
They say time's money, but time's the only investment.
Only investment. They say time's money, is time the
all
only
of these tracks are made by DJ Sean P. Yeah. What's that relationship?
This is so this is like I said, like at the end of every black movie, you know where they freeze frame and they tell you what happened. What happened to the dude at the one of the characters at the end of the flick? It's like he went to college, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He went to college. And then this one, man, these are the credits. That's how I look at it. It's like the song that played at the end of the flick where the credits is running. And I just talk my talk.
At night when I'm denied, I'm trying to find a tune. That's when I come alive. So many died as juice. Bleed all over the vibes. Can't cauterize the.
So does these songs just come to you? Like how is the relationship, like Royce asked, with DJ Sean P, right?
Yeah, with DJ Sean P.
Yeah.
He's from here in Fort Worth, and he was actually just recording me for like other projects that I was working on throughout the year. When I first moved here from Fort Worth, and honestly, man, when I got up with him, I was just knocking out like features and stuff for people that I had promised.
Yeah,
because I was really like kind of done with rap. I was just like, it had been a good few years since I had played a show or done anything like that. And I got to recording with him, like I said, knocking out features and stuff, or just doing favors that I promised before I left home. And then he would just like play me beats. Yeah. And I'd be like, that mother's hard. And he was like, yeah, you should hop on it. And I just kind of was like reluctant, like, nah, not for real. I would just be like, I don't even think I'm that good a rapper anymore. It's been a long time since I was nice, I don't think. And he would just, every time I come over there, he'd play me beats. I'm like, he'd play some that was just so hard, like this one. And I'm like, man, I don't know. It's like a MC thing where I'm like, I don't want nobody else hop on this beat. It'd be cold, and I done heard it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know exactly what you're saying.
I don't want to do that, so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna rap on this. And my thing is, I work pretty quick. Like, if I'm inspired or I'm gonna do it, I don't know if it's like a combination of my anxiety and like competition. Yeah, but I'll be like, I'll write it now, like, or I'll write it tomorrow. Like, I work quick because I just figure I ain't gonna get an opportunity to do it. So I knocked that one out, and this was actually one of the first songs we did for the project. Oh, okay. And then he would just, like I said, he just keep playing me beats, sending me beats, playing me beats, sending me beats. Because there's a bunch of songs that you guys didn't even hear that we did just, and then we started shaping. I'll give him more credit for that. He started shaping a narrative around consistent themes of what I was rapping about.
Got you.
Oh, so that's dope. Yeah.
That's a lot of it too, because I wasn't home. Like, I was writing about home a lot. So I'm writing about these memories I had about growing up in that town, in Topeka. And then I kind of just thought, when we got to talking about it, it was like, yo, this is something, I mean, it's not unique, you know? but it may be specific, like the names of the streets and all that might be specific, but the experiences of being a young person growing up is a story as old as time. So that's what we shape the narrative around.
So you like seek? Go ahead, Royce.
I was just gonna ask, like, what period of time? I mean, was this? When did you start on this? When did you guys start recording these tracks, and how long did that take?
Yeah, we started recording in 2019. We started recording in 2000. No, it was 2020. Yeah, it was 2020. Probably like beginning of 2020. We started working on it. That's when I recorded one of those first records, and then it just was like kind of sporadic throughout when we would get together. But we always had the, like, toward the middle of recording. At least my process is like I just record it. I'm just like, I'm one of those people that's like, this was what was on my mind. I'm gonna record it and commit it to tape, and then we can figure out the rest later. That's like kind of my thing. Like, I just want to throw up, basically. Like, let me just throw up all these ideas, commit it to something, and then I can listen back to it and be like, all right, so this is where we going, and this is what I meant, and I can fix this here, and I can fix that there, or whatever, or I cannot fix it. I like it the way it is. Like, that's kind of my process. So that's how it. And then we just kind of trim the fat. We just do the editing after we get all of the visceral stuff out. You know, just the feelings. We get the feelings out, and then we do the editing afterward. So I would say, that's why it probably took about a year to get it finished.
Yeah.
Do you think moving away played a role in kind of getting you to that place to write about it now?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I had a lot of mixed emotions about home. You know, where I had this feeling of, I mean, I knew I was moving for family. Like, I wasn't like moving to pursue rap. I know, like, often the story is like, oh, he moved to LA so he could get closer to becoming a rapper, or he moved to Atlanta. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that wasn't like the purpose of my move. I had some family stuff going on. My sister's out here, and she's had some health issues, and I just wanted to be close. And leaving home is one of those things where it's like, when you grow up somewhere, all you want to do is get away. And then you get away, and you're like, everything is the same everywhere for the most part.
Feel you. Yeah.
I mean, for real.
I feel that, yeah.
So then that notion kind of started setting in, that reality started setting in. And then when I started just writing my thoughts down, they were all like coming up about, you know, childhood, or like I said, coming of age. Having my own kids had a lot to do with it too. Like, the experience I had versus the experience they're having as young people, and then also just the social climate, like how things change and how things stay the same. All those kind of things were swirling in my head. So, like, putting some distance between myself and home kind of gave me more room to look at all of it, not objectively, but just like with a little bit of distance. It kind of like colored the way that I was able to write about it. Because when you're in it, is not the same as when you got perspective on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you talked about some of the current day situations of the town, which I thought was a very. Is that because you go back and visit, or how do you?
Well, I have like a lot of family I talk to, and just friends who are still there, or events that were happening. Like, before I left, like during the whole George Floyd and the riots around the world were happening, and like I had just left, there was a young man named Dominique White who was killed by police on the east side. And a buddy of mine my buddy Marty was working closely with the community and organizing and you know, contributing his voice and his time to that. And you know, I came out here, and it was like a Both and Gene and another story, like, you know what I mean? So like things like that, where I have a nephew and some younger family members who are experiencing things, or I'm hearing about what they're doing out there, and it's like, dang, like, I gotta write something. Like, I know only so much I can do, but like the way I feel, I want to be able to communicate it some way, express it some kind of way, so that I get it out of my system.
Yeah.
Instead of just running my mouth on social media or something. It just don't feel as authentic. So when you really know people, or you know what I mean? Like, it's not a clout thing or anything. It's just expression. Like, I just had to get it off of me. You know.
For sure. We're going to keep talking to Stik. Listeners, we're going to let you go. Part 2 next week. We're going to be listening to a little more music and continuing the conversation. This has been the Long Play Listening Party. Later, everybody.
Peace.